What's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to another Silver and Blood video. Guys, we have ourselves the limited embrace event Midsummer Eclipse preview out now. Let's talk a little bit about the character that's coming out, Lorelei, which is making a lot of headways in regards to her kit and what she's all about, and the fact that she's going to be a pretty badass assassin with dual form capability. So I'm very excited for this character. I'm going to be summoning. We're going to do a whole summon video on her as well too, and there's going to be a lot to cover regarding Lorelei, and I think we're going to be having a great time using this character. I'm going to try to do my best testing for you guys, give you guys a full-on build and what you want to use and who you want to use with her on a team. So first off, Lorelei, let's talk a little bit about it. Let me put the mic down for a sec. There we go. So SSR Vassal Lorelei makes her debut, featuring increasing rates in the Embrace event. As I mentioned before to you guys, please, this is the time now to start saving all of your extra summons. If you are looking to summon for Del Carlo or for Lamia, make sure you start saving now because they will be featured in the regular banner, and it's an easier way to get yourself those characters than it is to summon them through the limited banner. Now, if you're a pay-to-win player, limited banner will still be a little bit better for you if you're looking for the 50-50 draw to get a transcendent unit or an ancestral unit or the character in question. But if they do go into the custom, or they are going to go into the custom banner, you can actually put them on your altar list and put them on the wish list to get them a little bit quicker as well too. It won't be quite as good as getting yourself the other stuff, or the other way of getting them, which is the 50-50 draw, but it's still there. Now, in regards to Lorelei, she is going to be, again, an assassin with specific features that she only has, I believe, currently in the game. Maybe one other character has, and that is the ability to put units to sleep and then do a massive amount of magic damage to them, which is going to be a very, very big amount from what I've seen in terms of just leaks and everything else, right? So let's go over some of the key things that she's going to bring to the table. And I also want to let you guys know for this game, I'm going to start a brand new free-to-play account, which is going to feature a lot of different things. I'm going to walk you guys through free-to-play and how to do really well in it and how you can excel, because I know a lot of people still think this game is very pay-to-win, but I can assure you, if you manage things correctly and you do things the right way, this game is actually far from pay-to-win. It is still pay-to-win. Of course, every game is a gacha that is always going to be predatory and pay-to-win, but this one here, if you do things the right way and you have a little bit of patience, it definitely will take you far enough in the game without having to spend a penny. So without further ado, guys, let's take a look at Lorelei and talk a little bit about her kit. Okay, so here you guys can see Vassal info. So a couple things about her. She is a light armored unit, right? You guys can see light armor. She is an assassin. She's a crescent moon, which is the moon that's not full, obviously, and not the small one. And she's a magic damage user. SSR, of course. You can see kingdoms. I have no idea what's going on here. That looks like she's like pumping out milk or some shit. Anyways, that's just me. Faction is going to be Kingdom and Assassin. Now, if we go back to the game, the Kingdom faction is actually pretty, I think they need a little bit of help. So I think this is a good thing. So let's go to Embrace for a sec. If I go to the altar, right? Let's go to the altar for a second. Where is the regular Blue Dawn? Here it is. The altar, Kingdom over here. Like, they've got really good units, but I think they need the most amount of help when it comes down to just overall usability. Now, they've got some key components here. Of course, in Starry-Eyed Aeona, I love Cecilia, and I love Hattie. So these are all characters that I do enjoy, but everything else in here, they kind of do need. Their assassins are not the greatest. So right now, they currently have one assassin, and that is Gilrain. Decent unit overall, but not great. I think Lorelei is going to make this faction here a lot more viable when it comes down to it. So definitely keep an eye out for that, and definitely put the other classes that are coming in here, like Lamia and Bloodborne, and Del Carlo and Bloodborne when you have an opportunity, right? I believe they're both Bloodborne. All right, so let's go back to the kit here. So a couple things to note here. Again, the assassin role's there. Let's scroll down. A magic assassin who can control and execute enemies in two forms. Her base form can put enemies to sleep in an area, while her ultimate puts her into a siren form for high single target damage and bonus damage against sleeping enemies. Now, one thing I will say, and I'm not sure if they're going to do this or not, or if I don't know if bosses are going to be immune, but if bosses are immune to sleep, it's going to cause a little bit of problem because a lot of her damage comes from sleeping enemies. So that is something that we're going to have to keep an eye out and test on. And I hope that it doesn't, like Del Carlo's issue where she can't morph elite enemies. I hope elite enemies can also be susceptible to this. If not, then again, we're going to have some problems, right? Because at the end of the day, we definitely need these opponents to be able to go to sleep. And if they don't go to sleep, you're missing out on a lot of damage from this character. So guys, keep that in mind when you are looking to build her. And that's one thing I think a lot of people need to remember. All right, let's scroll down here. Skill set. So Dark Melody, her basic attack. Her base form deals magic damage to enemies in a rectangular selected area and applies Siren Song. So Siren Form deals multiple instances of magic damage to the target, specifically to the target. Siren Song cannot be purified and lasts permanently. After reaching a certain number of stacks, it is removed and inflicts sleep on its bearer for a duration. So I'm not sure the amount of stacks required yet in order to hit that amount, but right now that's the case right there. You do have to hit a certain amount of stacks for the opponent to go to sleep, and when the opponent goes to sleep, that's where your real damage starts coming out, right? So Soul Devourer talent. In Siren Form, Lorelei deals increased damage to sleeping targets and ignores a portion of their magic defense. Also, damage dealt during this form won't wake sleeping targets. So this is a big one. So this form specifically does not wake up targets. Now, I'm not sure how other classes or other units are going to affect a sleeping unit. I'm not sure if it's a one-hit break or if it's a break based off of a certain amount of damage, or if it's a time thing. If it's like it's, you know, if opponents sleep for 5 seconds no matter how much damage they take. So we'll have to see how that works. If that last one, if the latter is the case, she's going to be so freaking OP. It's going to be ridiculous. Sweetest Slumber, base form, triggers when Lorelei applies sleep to enemies, deals magic damage to a random enemy not inflicted with sleep, and applies 1 stack of Siren Song. Triggers when, so Siren Form, triggers when Lorelei's target dies, teleport behind a random sleeping enemy, and deal magic damage. If there are no enemies inflicted with sleep, targets the enemy with the lowest HP percentage. So she is going to be perfect for PvP. I feel like she's going to be a killer for PvP, especially the fact that she targets enemies with lowest HP if no one's asleep, and the fact that she controls the battlefield with so many debuffs. It's going to be a pretty big deal. And then lastly, her ultimate, which looks crazy, by the way. She's like meditating with all these tentacles. Some Cthulhu style shit, or Ursula from Little Mermaid. Lorelei enters her Siren Form and shrouds the battlefield in mist for a period of time. During this time, enemies' sleep status cannot expire. That's crazy. Lorelei will teleport behind a selected target that deals massive magic damage and eliminating enemies, extending the duration of her Siren Form. At the end of the skill duration, Lorelei reverts to her base form and teleports back to her position where the ultimate was cast. So guys, real talk, I'm being honest with you guys, this class looks insane. She looks absolutely bonkers to me, and I'm super excited to see how they handle her, and I'm curious to see what her damage looks like. So to prepare yourself for this character, I'm going to recommend a couple things. Start getting gear for her ready. I feel like she's going to be a pretty big impactful character. She might be a strictly PvP unit at the end of the day once we see what her sleep affects. That's really where the downfall is going to happen. If there's anything that will cause this character not to be good, it's going to be her sleep being neglected by or being immune by enemies, specifically bosses, right? Because that's where you want to see most of the damage come from. So we're going to definitely do some testing for you guys. I will 100% let you guys know how she does overall once she is released. We'll do a full summon video as well to get you guys pumped up for her. Hopefully we get a couple copies, and from there I'll be starting a brand new free-to-play account, and we'll hopefully be able to give you guys some free-to-play content on top of that. I know I've been doing a lot of pay-to-win content just to get further in the game, to test things, and this is what I normally do. I always do pay-to-win in order to get my feet wet, understand the game a little bit, and then give you guys the free-to-play content, knowing the knowledge that I have about the game before jumping headfirst into it, right? So look forward to that, guys, and look forward to this character coming out. I'm very excited. The patch actually is tomorrow, I believe, so we're going to be doing some content on this going forward. All right, guys, thank you again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.